Action Picks is my show. We're sorry you're watching our show. If you're tuned in, it might be accident. We're gonna start the show. Hey, what's going on, Internet? I am your host, Johnny Barks, and to my left or right, depending on what way this is,
It's Bryan.
This is Bryan, and you are watching Second String SportsTalk, where we speculate from the sidelines. This is our second show. Thank you for turning in, all three of you. Today is a weird day for fantasy football because we just watched a very awful Thursday night football game, in which Bryan is he has stakes in this. He's a Bears fan. So just quick thoughts about last night's game.
What else can be said? There wasn't much offense. There wasn't much defense. I don't think there was much special teams. I don't think there were many fans there. There wasn't much of anything.
They were booing all right. I mean, they were. Yeah. Did you hear the chant of "Sell the team"?
Sell the team. Yeah. Well, I can't tell if that was like a Commanders thing or
I was saying the same. I assumed it was Bears because they're at the Bears Stadium, but
right.
They could be talking to both, honestly, because the Washington owner was there.
It might have been a plural teams. Sell the teams. So
yeah, I mean those S's are kind of hard when they just don't really enunciate very well.
Yeah,
like especially in crowd.
It's just sad. It's sad to be a fan right now, but it's even sadder to be a Rashad Penny owner.
You are a Rashad Penny owner, fantasy. I think investor is the word we should go with.
Yeah, I was an investor. I invested in pennies, and I should have been investing in Kenneth Walker's, for example, and PJ Walker's. Because PJ Walker's in for
is Baker out? I didn't see
Baker's
that.
out. That's right. That was Matt Rule's last request before he left was just take Baker out.
Just heard him do something. His man cost me my job. He promised he wouldn't get me fired.
Yeah.
On some home league issues, you have a new trade target because as last week, our first show, you recommended people go grab Gabe Davis or start him if you have him on your bench. Any reasoning after an explosive, to say the least, explosive Sunday afternoon for him?
Yeah, well, so if we're looking at just an example, looking in our home league, the person that owns Gabe Davis, by the way, shout out to Johnny and myself for calling our wide receiver picks for last week were Gabe Davis and Devontae Adams. Who were wide receiver 1 and 2 last week, Johnny?
I believe it was Gabe Davis and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, so we called the number 1 and number 2 wide receiver of the whole week of all players in that position. So you're welcome if you listened. I doubt you did because we didn't have any branding and it was more just a practice run.
Yeah, the guy in our league didn't start Gabe Davis.
Didn't heed my
lucky warning. For you though, because you were playing him, weren't you?
I was playing him. So I'm going in for a trade for Gabe Davis right now, and I have I'll tell you what I offered because he said he's going to counter, and I don't want to hear his dumb counter. Yeah. I already know it's going to be an obnoxious, give me an RB3 or an RB1 for Gabe Davis, something like that. But I offered him Alexander Madison, which he has Dalvin Cook, so a nice handcuff there, and Geno Smith. For his team, his quarterback is Jared Goff, who's on a bye week. And I believe it's who does he have? Some middle tier person like Teddy Bridgewater. Or something.
Yeah, I have to check. Yeah,
that's not going to do.
His team's not. I mean, his team is bound for a rebound because he has Russell Wilson. Who else do we have?
Oh, that was what it was. Russell Wilson and Jared Goff. So
big Broncos fan, Mike, and he drafted with his heart, which is you're not supposed to do that.
Not supposed to do that.
Like Christian Kirk,
we'll see what happens with the trade.
T. Higgins might legit be the receiver one in Cincinnati this year.
Yeah,
and and he got Ramondre Stevenson, so yeah,
right.
Stevenson could just keep that running back one spot and be a solid RB1 for any team, honestly, unless you have
right. So, and this is sort of a good segue into our debate section, which we start every show with a debate. And Johnny, do you want to pull up a timer on your phone while I set it up?
Yeah. Give us the context.
Yeah. So the context is while we're debating and who's going to win this week. And if we could share our screen, I would show you who's on my team and who's on Johnny's team, but I'll just give you a brief rundown. I have Christian McCaffrey and Melvin Gordon as my running back 1 and 2 this week. And I have Josh Allen at my quarterback position.
Allen. Oh, I think I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, and I have Amon St. Brown on a bye. And Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What did you just say?
Amon St. Brown, so I forgot the Ra.
Oh, okay. It just sounded completely off.
Amon St. Brown.
I'm sorry.
And so that's my team basically. I have an open wide receiver position in my starting lineup because I have 2 wide receivers on a bye this week. Or I have 1 and then a bunch of dumb bench.
Right.
That's not going to play. So who's on your team, Johnny?
I was trying to figure out. I thought I had it, but I don't know.
Just hit the highlights. We don't need.
My QB is Justin Herbert. My running backs are MIA. I didn't want to talk about them. My receivers are Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, and Mike Evans, and CeeDee Lamb. I got a free CD from one of the guys in our league.
So we're looking at a team that's very well-rounded like myself, and then a team that only has really good wide receivers like Johnny. So that's what
you're well-rounded, but no, your team is decimated by injuries, and maybe this is where we should start the timer. Am I leading off? I don't remember how we.
Why don't you lead off and put the timer up on the screen so we can see how much you have left? We're giving him a minute, and then I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to rebuttal.
Okay, 1 minute. So first off, your team is trash because you're talking crap about my running backs. Look at your running back situation. You're the one that traded for James Conner. Like, I know you have Eno, but I think he's just super overhyped this week. And the Cardinals are going to be passing a lot against the Seahawks. They're playing the Seahawks, right? Anyways, yeah. And George Kittle I don't know why he's even still on their team. Justin Tucker might be the best player at their position you have. Amon-Ra is not going to do nothing for you this week because he's not playing. And where's
your timer? I can't see your timer.
It's got 23 seconds left. Yeah, like skin and bones. Like honestly, like you. I don't know if you're that much better than my team. I really don't. At least I have a consistent Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, and Mike Williams. Who I get. That's the risk of having Herbert and Williams. I will say. So maybe I shouldn't mention that part. But yeah, Pollard and Coleman might be not that great, but I don't see how your team is better, and that's it.
Okay, cool. Disagree with everything you just said. I'm going to start my timer so you can see.
Okay.
I have the white background, and here's how confident I am. I'm not even going to start arguing until we get to about 20 seconds here. That's how confident I am. Here's all that you need to know about my team and Johnny's team. Number 1, Johnny, what's your record?
It doesn't matter, bro.
And what's your points for?
Look, I am mid. I am very mid.
That's all you need to know, guys. That's all you need to know. So, my timer's up. That's all you needed to know.
I think my team's going to win because I got some intuition, and we got some people coming in the chat. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Very new. It's our second episode. Tom was bothering about – I'm not going to say anything. All you guys are awesome.
Which Tom?
Tom, the Grossi, the man who helps pay for my cat food.
Mr. Grossi.
Bryan, I just want to introduce you guys to my co-host, Bryan, because you guys don't know him. He's pretty cool. I shouldn't have full screened it, but yeah, we are just kicking off our segment here. Do I get one more section to debate you? Because I don't even care.
Let me. I get a minute to sort of state my case. I was just rebuttaling what you said. So if I was to give myself a minute, let's see. Ay, caramba. Okay, so let me give myself a minute. So if you look at the projections for the rest of the year, again, if you're new to fantasy football, you're going to go towards projections. They really mean nothing. You need to know what the game style is going to be and what the play calling is going to lean towards. So think of like targets, think of who's injured and maybe somebody's coming in that. So for instance, Chris Olave, he was not on either one of our teams.
He was on my team, but I traded him.
He was on your team. You traded him because Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are both out right now. And
Olave I'm sorry. I mean,
yeah, I think Olave is a good pick. But when you think of having a fantasy football team, you have to think of the full picture. So Olave is a good player, very talented. But when all these guys come back, he's probably going to get a limited role.
If you look though,
well, hold on. I still have my time, even though my timer went up. So look at Johnny's team as a whole. They're performing well in these moments, but when you look at the bigger picture, when people are coming back from injury, I think I like to look at, for example, Johnny's running back situation is so poor that if one of his running backs got injured, he would literally have a potential to earn 5 total points a week at the running back position. So he has to trade away for all these great wide receivers to have mid-tier running backs. So he's really set himself up very poorly for the year. Do you have a rebuttal, Johnny? That's the end of it.
I mean, if you look at my team, if they were healthy, I mean, who could have predicted that Cordell Patterson would have gotten hurt like that? You can't predict those things.
What's he, like 40 now?
I'm sorry, what?
He's 40 in a high contact position. You couldn't predict that he'd
31. Look, shut up.
Sorry,
I got to get for him. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to move on, honestly, because I'm tired of this.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not tired of it.
That's all right.
You make the points. It's just you hurt me. My team is good. No, I think my I just don't think I gave up too much value on wide receivers to get a running back. That's all I'm saying. Because I mean, I traded away Jamar Chase. That's the biggest name I traded, and he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, that was a good choice. That ended up
later in the season. Choice. I mean, I wasn't going to give up Kupp, and I wasn't going to give up Mike Williams because he's worth more to me than anyone else because I have Justin Herbert.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So let's go to our next section, the this or that.
Okay,
segment.
This is my fun. I got some good ones.
So this or that is just we just give somebody a choice and they have to pick. So for this first section, it's just going to be who's going to have the better week. So Johnny, who do you think is going to have the better week? Ken Walker from the Seahawks coming in for Rashad Penny, or Brian Robinson from last night, who we already know what he did.
I knew that I would have started him if I were you, given your injury situation. I know. I mean, Eno is not a bad pick, but I still would probably. I don't know. I'm just partial on Brian Robinson. You know that. I figured they would have fed him since it's some prime time. It's his first game back. That's obviously hindsight at this point. He got a touchdown. If he didn't get that touchdown, it would have been a pretty meh game for him. But I would still pick Ken Walker. I think his upside is way too freaking high. He might get
Okay, who would you start? Jerry Jeudy or Alan Lazard?
Ooh, I would pick Lazard because I don't know. Judy's just been too inconsistent, and Lazard is slowly becoming still. I mean, he's still Rodgers' favorite target.
Okay. So. Robert Woods or Brandon Cooks?
Gosh, I'd have to go with Brandon Cooks. I mean, he's on bye week this week, I think. But
yeah, they both are. I was just testing you, so.
That's why your T there now.
You're like, I think he's on a bye week this week, but I'll go with Brandon Cooks. Okay. Anyways, Geno Smith or Russell Wilson?
This week, I would pick Russell Wilson, and I can talk to you more about that later.
Okay. Shaking my head. So let me ask you this. Who was more disrespectful? Devontae Adams pushing the camera guy, or Aaron Rodgers saying, I own you, and doing the discount double check thing to Bears fans in Chicago last year?
I don't even know if disrespectful is the word for it, for either instance, honestly, because, I mean, I don't think they were disrespectful, honestly, because Rodgers, he said that was they were both reactions in the moment because Rodgers said he reacted to a bunch of fans giving him the bird. And Devontae just reacted to the dude running in front of him. Like, obviously Devontae was, it's something that Devontae apologized for, but why would Rodgers apologize for stating the truth that if you go back and look, I think Rodgers is winning at least like 2 out of 3 games against the Bears, 3 out of 4.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel a little biased the way answering that question that way?
Yes and no. I feel like
you didn't even answer the question. That's the whole point. You said both of them are innocent.
They're not. I guess who's Devontae, because he actually technically might have hurt someone.
All right, we're getting somewhere. Okay,
good. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk about this. I'm tired of seeing all the hot takes on Twitter about it. It's like
yeah.
Makes me
okay. So let me ask you this: who's a worse play caller, Josh McDaniels or Zach Taylor?
Zach Taylor, 100%. Josh McDaniels is probably just smarting himself. Look at what the Patriots offense looks like without him and Brady. Like,
that's a good point.
Mac Jones looked a lot better. It's still only like 2 games of the season, but Mac Jones looked a lot better under. I trust Josh McDaniels rather than what Matt Patricia or Joe Judge.
True. All right. Well, last question. So, what would you prefer to watch? A playoff baseball game? Anyone you get to choose, like this week, or rewatch the Bears versus Commanders game?
So, if you would have asked me this yesterday, is it a game 7? That's my question.
They don't.
Game 7 World Series game. Absolutely.
Well, no, I'm saying this week playoff, not a World Series.
Well, I'd have to be honest with you. I'm not going to watch playoff baseball this weekend, so I'd have to pick football, honestly.
Fair enough. Even with your knowledge of how bad the Bears and Commanders game is, you still
because at least it was fun. I kind of get paid to watch football in a way, so still.
That's a good point. That's a good shout out to Mr. Grassi.
Still in the house. At least a couple of you probably.
All right, so you can ask me your questions, I guess.
We should have just skipped to this segment when the raid came in because this would be more entertaining.
Yeah.
That's okay. We appreciate you guys coming in. We really do. Like I said, this is our second show. We don't know what the F we're doing. All right, my questions. If you had to pick one of these guys to babysit your child.
Oh, no.
Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Tom Brady might make out with your kid.
That's what I was worried about. No, I would probably do Tom Brady. He's had children, and look how Belichick's son.
Steve.
He looks like the Tasmanian devil. Like his hair is all messed up. I always want to call him Chet Belichick. I don't know what his real name is. You know what I'm talking about? The coach.
His name's Steve. It's Steve Belichick.
Steve Belichick. Yeah, I always want to call him Chet. He looks like a Chet. Like a Chet Hanks.
No, at least he does. He's a coach in the football league. Like Chet's not. Chet's just like a meme.
I can just picture Belichick giving me a rundown of how it was babysitting my son. He'd be like, "Yeah, it was okay. I guess I just kind of gave him a bottle and there's really not much to it." And then Brady would be a little bit more ecstatic and like give you like a fake like excited response. Yeah, it was awesome, man. Like, I love working with this kid. Like, he's got so much energy. He's starting to walk, and he's taking those steps to get to where, and it's just awesome. Like
that media personality takes over.
Yeah. So I would much rather have Tom Brady be my babysitters.
I respect that rationale. I have to say. All right. Same question. Still have to pick one to babysit your child. Devontae Adams after a loss in Kansas City. Or Aaron Rodgers after a long trip to Peru.
Both of those are liabilities. My son's either going to get hurt or he's going to he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt either way. Which one will hurt him less? I don't know. That's a hard one. I think how immediately after the loss are we talking for Devontae?
It was only a couple minutes, so it's he has to pick your kid up at the stadium and then take him home.
I think Aaron Rodgers, just because I'm a little afraid of like physical. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, when he's coming back from a trip to Peru, is going to get physical he might,
clear minded.
Yeah, he'll have a clearer head. But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers in that moment.
All right, I got Chris D has one for you. Trade Sutton and Jay Robinson for one of these players. Tyreek or Debo? Who would you pick? I'll let you answer first.
I'm trying to trade Sutton and J. Rob for one of these players. Who would you pick, Tyreek or Debo? That's a good question. I mean, you have to imagine Tyreek with or without Tua is gonna take some precedent there. So it's a good question. I think I would go. The safer bet would be Debo. I think he's the safer bet. But Tyreek has the higher ceiling. So it's really whatever you're comfortable with. Are you gambling, man?
I would say if you think your team's set for like the long ride, pick Tyreek. If you're trying to win it all, if you're like 2-2 right now or 2-3 or whatever week we're at, I'd go with Debo because then you just want to get to the playoffs with him. He's going to give you at least like 12 every week probably. Yeah. Tyreek will give you like 5 some games. He'll give you freaking 30 some games. So he has that potential.
Yeah, it's the floor is the question. How comfortable with your floor being very low or your ceiling being lower. So
exactly. Thanks for the question, Christy. Hope you're still in here. All right, I got two more actually. You have front row seats to go see your favorite band. Who's your favorite band, Brian? You like Chainsmokers, don't
you? No, I'm a big Weezer guy, actually.
Weezer, okay. You have that's a perfect one. All right, 2 tickets to see. I mean yourself, and then 2 other tickets, but you can only buy 3. 2 of these guys. Mike McDaniel, man, that's perfect. He must. Well, I bet he loves Weezer. Lovey Smith or Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Mike Daniel make looks like he's in Weezer. He has like the weird, quirky, scrawny glasses, like scrawny build, not fully fleshed out facial hair. He kind of looks like he's already in Weezer himself. But I would pick Mike McDaniel. He seems like a fun, cool, weird guy, somebody that would have a good, a concert experience with. And then I would pick Lovey Smith because being a Bears fan, it'd be fun. And I have no desire to talk to Mike Vrabel. Like I have there's no, I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's just there in my eyes. So Lovey Smith and Mike McDaniel.
I was just trying to pick some of the likable coaches. Mike Vrabel seems like a dude that you like.
Yeah, it's like I don't have anything bad to say about him.
Right. All right, last one. You're on that millionaire show. Copyright, not intended. And you're down to the last question. You have 1 lifeline left, and you get to phone a friend. Who are you phoning? Like, it doesn't matter what you don't know the category. We'll just say that. Matt Nagy, Mark Trestman, or Aaron Rodgers.
So, some of you might not know who Mark Trestman is. Actually,
that's a deep cut almost now.
That is a deep cut. Mark Trestman, for those of you who don't know, is a former Bears head coach, probably 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe 7. I don't know. He was before John Fox and before Matt Nagy.
Who they hired right after they fired Lovey, right?
Yeah, right after Lovey, they hired this guy.
He only lasted like 2 seasons, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So Mark Trestman was the head coach of the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, he was a Canadian football coach.
Yeah, and for that reason alone, like I think.
Kind of some balls to make that higher, honestly.
Yeah, I think Mark Trestman would definitely be my pick because the fact that he transitioned over from the CFL to the NFL, he's got some brains to him, and I think Matt Nagy just got lucky he got in his position.
Right. I figured he would have picked Aaron Rodgers because he actually won Jeopardy. I thought.
Well, listen,
I was trying to trick you into picking Aaron Rodgers, but you didn't.
I didn't even consider him, and I know that he was on. I know he hosted Jeopardy several times.
You got to go back and watch. He embarrassed. What was it, Wolf Blitzer? Like Wolf Blitzer got embarrassed.
Yeah,
there's someone else. I can't remember, some random author or something like that.
He's got some mental problems. He's
Aaron Rodgers. No, he's smart. I think he's legitimately smart though.
Oh, I think he's smart. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to. I feel like he'd get cocky in the moment and be like, pick B, and I'd be like.
You wouldn't know the question.
I was like, I didn't tell you the full answer. I just gave you A and B, and I didn't tell you C or D. It's like, just pick B, trust me. And I wouldn't like that in the moment. That'd be too aggressive for me. So I think I would go with Mark Trestman.
Aaron Rodgers too aggressive. You think that?
I just don't like him as a person either. So that's also playing into this.
I will leave it at that. So, on to what day is it? October 14th?
This is October 14th. So hypothetically, if today was yesterday, October 13th, we're planning on doing releasing this. We're planning on having dates that line up with the dates that we're going live in the future. But this date was from yesterday because we were planning on doing it yesterday. So, but October 13th, 2013, the Texans, Arian Foster rushes for 140 yards over St. Louis Rams. But Sam Bradford pulls out the win. He throws 3 touchdowns. And here's an interesting thing. He only threw 16 pass attempts that whole game. Not 16 receptions, 16 pass attempts. And he had 3 touchdowns.
Fields offense right now.
Yeah. So, and the Rams came back and won. But interestingly enough, another one of those touchdowns was Alec Ogletree. The old Alec Ogletree had a 98-yard interception return for a touchdown off of Matt Schaub that game. So pretty interesting. October 13th, 2013. That's your flashback on this date.
And of course, Matt Schaub picked off.
Matt Schaub being picked off.
That's fun. No, that is fun. I saw one. I should have downloaded the video. I was a little busy. 10 years ago today, I think, was the famous Ian Rappaport getting hit in the head with football during a live report.
Ooh. And that's fantasy relevant too, because he's releasing some of this information.
Yeah.
On his social media, so that is fantasy relevant.
I agree.
So
so it's our superlatives this week, our awards, or no, my betting segment.
Your betting segment.
I mean, any betting segment, in hopes that we'll get sponsored by DraftKings one day.
Yeah.
Here's my betting segment, and I am Nostradamus right now because Nostradamus, I can't speak. Mooney over 42.5 yards was my bet of the week, and I didn't even put money on it because I forgot and I got busy before the game. But yeah, he hit it. I think my rationale behind that was that he had 50 in his past 2 games at that point. And although the Bears aren't passing up, which kind of knocks that down a lot because it's a very low floor, he's still that deep threat. We saw it. I mean, I don't think he completed. I think it was mostly smaller reception. I don't think he got a huge game.
Yeah, no, I think he had a like a 20-something yard catch, I think, or 15 yards.
I mean, that's nice, but yeah, he's a deep threat. He's gonna get shots down the field every game, so
right,
it's worth it.
And so if anybody's curious who to bet on this week,
that was the one I had.
In hindsight, who you could have bet on.
The odds weren't up yet. The player props weren't up yet when I decided that, so I just picked a game from last night.
And listen, guys, we're waiting to get picked up by DraftKings as a sponsor to give you bets for the future. We're going to do past bets right now until we get picked up by DraftKings.
Exactly. We're giving you our hindsight picks. So
yeah, so
we win every time.
Please advocate. Call your local senator. Call your local LinkedIn representative from DraftKings.
Write a letter.
Let them know. Say Second String Sports wants you to be picked up as a sponsor for their show. So
please call. Leave voicemails.
Yes.
We'll do FanDuel too. It's okay.
FanDuel is all right. Yeah.
They're mid, but
FanDuel mid. Okay.
Superlatives
and awards of the week. So this is a new segment. And by the way, as we get further in, the more support we have, the more we're going to add like little sound effects, little designing, little animations that will go most likely to save your season award. And then and we'll be like, the winner of that award is Breece Hall. So just the more support we get, the more cool animations we get. So Breece Hall was my most likely to save your season award winner.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Hall's, every week Breece Hall's touches have increased. I don't know if you've seen that. And I'm not entirely sure that they're going to stop increasing. He reached the end zone last week or 2 weeks ago, and then he does that this week again, this past week. So he's gotten a touchdown in the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. No,
with an additional, this past week, he had an additional 100-yard receiving game, landing just shy of 200 yards for the total day. And when this was an interesting take, when asked about his performance and taking over the role of starting back from Michael Carter, Hall responded, "He can suck my fart. I'm so good at football." That's what he said. So
I can't believe he would say that. I mean,
yeah. So Breece Hall,
you
a
gotta
funny
give these
guy.
players like a minute after the game to like control their emotions.
Yeah, you can't expect them to be too censored in those moments. So a little vulgar in his response, but that's Breece Hall for you, the most likely to save your season award.
I think that's a good one. No, that's a good one. He will save your season. I will say Michael Carter, I think, is still not the red zone, the goal line back. So I might put a ceiling on touchdowns for Hall, but I think I didn't like him going into the season just because he's on the freaking Jets.
True.
But the Jets could be actually good. We don't even know anything this year. Like, we don't know who's good or not, so we'll see. My award was the most – I almost forgot it because
it's the most
forgotten player award, and that goes to one A.J. Dillon. I think he only had like 6 carries this week. He's kind of getting buried. The Packers are refusing to run the ball in general, and they're using Aaron Jones a lot more than 50-50 split than a lot of people expected. But I think when their offense really finds their, I think that's because they're really trying to find their groove of the passing game, and they still really haven't yet. And it's sad because.
Sorry, I'm just listening to your cat meow. I was laughing at that, but
he didn't want me to talk about the Packers because he knows it makes me upset. However, I think that it's gonna be okay, and eventually they'll. I mean, they're gonna have to run the ball. They're gonna have to. Like, you can't expect Rodgers to do it all at age 39 or however old he is now. He'll be 39 in December, I think.
Yeah.
I know. Is he 40?
Gray in his beard. And this next award is
So
oh, sorry. Were you still talking about AJ?
No, I was gonna say yeah. No, I was gonna say just buy him cheap if you want to, if you can.
Oh, definitely. Stinky Ass Award, or sorry, Stinky Ass Start Award, the SASA. The winner of the SASA for week 5 is T. Higgins and his sprained ankle. So, after being cleared, was it you that had T. Higgins? Or no, it was Mike. No, who had T. Higgins?
I had T. Higgins like last year, I think. I don't remember. Yeah.
Who was I playing last week who started T. Higgins?
Mike, I think.
Daniel? I don't know.
Mike, it's Mike.
Oh, Mike. Well, then I was playing Mike last week. That's right. I was playing Mike, and he started T. Higgins. After being cleared to play Sunday for the primetime matchup, Higgins goes in and re-aggravates his ankle on the first drive, and he decides to sit out the rest of the game. He has 0 catches, 0 targets, leaving Higgins owners wondering, do the Bengals coaching staff even care about my fantasy team? That's just the sad reality.
I don't think they do. I just have a feeling they don't that much. Maybe if you recall us a while, it's always "How are you doing?" Or
I get what you're saying. I get the little saying that you're saying. But who's that NFL guy that said all these players or all these fans are worried about their fantasy team, but they're not worried about us actually winning games? Who said that? It was just recently.
I don't remember. Did you see though that I can't remember who it was. I thought it was
Amon-Ra.
Messaged him about his fantasy performance, and he put him on blast.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't remember who it was. It was I'm blanking on names completely on storylines, but some white kid messaged him.
Oh, it was Kamara.
Kamara, yeah, said the N-word too.
Yep, I did see that. That was bad, very bad, and Kamara just blasted him, and I think added his
high school,
and like all of his teams that he's on. Yeah,
he's savage stuff. I mean, that's what you get.
Yeah, so just goes to show. Sometimes dreams do come true, and your favorite players respond to your DM.
For the wrong reasons, yeah.
Just remember,
it's like, Mom, I finally got to get on the professional football field. I stormed the field, but I got to go on the field.
Yeah. Mom, Alvin Kamara responded to my message. What did you say to him? That doesn't matter. But yeah, no, don't look into it if you're interested.
No,
Or do.
The kid he put hashtag BLM or something like that, and hashtag
Oh God.
second chances or something like that in his bio, and deleted everything.
Oh man.
All right,
I
next
don't feel bad for
award.
that kid at all.
I don't. Yeah.
So next award, let's go with it, Johnny.
Is called the Cash Money. I wanted a cool graphic, but I just didn't have time today. The Cash Money Consistency Award goes to Cooper Kupp. He's had, I think it was 14.9 points was his lowest, so almost 15 every single week. Basically, I mean, yeah, it's a guaranteed 15 points. I feel like a genius for. I mean, I'd never expected him to fall to me at number 9. So of course,
I feel like a genius for drafting Cooper Kupp.
I feel like a genius.
Quoted Johnny. Somebody quote him. Yeah. No, he's a solid pick. You can imagine like all the other first round picks that people had, like Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, yeah, there was 2 receivers picked over him, wasn't there?
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
And Stephon Diggs were picked over him, wasn't they? No.
Yeah. Or Jamar Chase?
No, I picked Jamar at 11.
Yeah. It was Justin Jefferson.
Maybe just one. Maybe just one.
Yeah.
But
Joe Mixon was picked over him.
That's why. It was Joe Mixon and Najee that got picked over him that year.
Yeah.
I thought.
Great picks by our friends.
I mean, Najee looks like an awful pick, but Joe Mixon not a terrible pick. Still not great, but he's at least a running back 2 at worst.
Yeah. Well, we can sort of jump into our next segment, which is the fantasy crossover of the week, where we look at different sports and pick one person that will do great. So I don't know how many of you are actually playing fantasy baseball, let alone fantasy playoff baseball.
I'm not. Why don't you inform us? Why don't you educate us all about this topic, Bryan?
So, by the way, if you ever want to do fantasy baseball, it's very similar to basketball, but you have to pay attention to it daily. Like, you don't have like off days, like a Tuesday for NFL, and you don't have like it's baseball's happening every day. And so you have to pay attention to like how many players are going to be playing that week, or how many players are going to be playing in actual games. Pitching is super weird in fantasy baseball. You have to pay attention, because sometimes you'll get somebody who doesn't come in for a relief for that whole week, and then you just don't score that week. So fantasy baseball is weird. I don't recommend it to everybody, but if you're a baseball fan, it's interesting. It helps you keep up with the league. My start of the week for playoff baseball is Kyle Schwarber. The Schwarbs, may the Schwarb be with you. Having a great playoff season. I think he had over like 360, 370 batting average in the past 5 games.
He's still in the Phillies, right?
Yeah, he's still in the Phillies. He's doing really good. So for playoff baseball, and I think it's because he's been here before, as being a former Cub.
He's like clutch in a way.
Yeah, he's very clutch. And he's also just a power hitter, and he's typically pretty early in the lineup, so you're going to get a lot of at-bats with him. So might as well pick up Kyle Schwarber. He's not the biggest name in playoffs total. So if you are doing like a weekly playoff draft, like who's your pick, Kyle Schwarber's a good pick.
Yeah, that sounds like a good advice, Bryan.
Yeah, and who's your
I think my cat disagrees, though. My NBA pick is the best player in the world, and that is Giannis.
Cade Cunningham.
No, my actual pick, though, is a sleeper, I guess to say. I don't know anything about ADPs in basketball. I don't know who you would want to draft first or whatnot, so don't ask me. But one guy that could be a good option is Cade Cunningham, because he is a point guard that also can rebound, and he can spread the ball around and score. So he's a good triple threat there. I think he was averaging like the second half of the season, like 6, 8, and 4 or something like that. Not too bad. I think 16, 8, and 6 is what I went to say. I don't know what the frick I said. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. So not too bad.
So
I'm on
my
fantasy
basketball.
What's up?
Have you ever played fantasy basketball?
I did, and I think I quit halfway through the season, and I don't remember how I lost my password or something like that. I just didn't pay it mind.
Yeah, let me tell you something, guys. Fantasy sports outside of football is not super entertaining.
It's awful. It's like over a week period.
Right.
It's like the game starts and then it lasts a week, and then it's like the end of the week.
Right.
I don't know. It's not the magic
It's,
of Sunday.
yeah, I was gonna say there's no highlights. There's no things to look forward to. It's kind of like lame in the concept, but lame in the practice.
You see your player have a good game, and then like, okay, hope we can keep it up 3 more times this week. He'll give me some points.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I would put it just because I think the draft would be fun, and then I just auto set my lineups or something like that.
Right. Right. Moral of the story is, and we'll probably say this time and time again, don't do other fantasy football sports other than football. Unless you're a really big fan of that sport, or if you want to learn more about that sport, then try it out. You do learn a lot about the players. You do learn a lot about like statistics for the game. You learn a lot about statistics if you're doing, NBA or MLB fantasy. But in reality, it's just a stressful. It's not a stressor you want in your life. You want to be stressed out on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. That's all you need.
Exactly. That's the ones that are the best kind of stress.
So we can just sort of transition into this second to last segment here, fantasy names we like. And this is all data that I get from a Facebook group I'm on. And I just say, what's your fantasy names going into week 6? And I got over 170 responses.
You got some good ones, yeah.
Yeah, most of them were actually not good. Like they were like just reused, like several years old. Some of them are from like the 90s. Like one was like haha Clinton, Monica something Clinton Dix, like like a weird Bill Clinton reference for a fantasy name, which is like, okay, interesting. I don't even know if haha Clinton Dix still is in the NFL or if he's a starter anymore.
He was, God, let me see. I feel like he was on a practice squad for someone last year.
Yeah. I'll let you look that up.
He's a free agent right now.
Yeah, free agent. So some of the names we like: Taylor Swift, just Taylor Swift.
I like that. I do like that.
Johnny, is there crime going on in your area?
Yeah, there always is. I live next to a police station and a hospital and a fire station, so I was like, I had
good property value.
Not very high. This building was built in like the 60s.
It's all good. So we got Taylor Swift. That's a Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift mashup. We got
that's good.
This is one from our league, a classic one from our league. Sex? Nah, G. My chub hurts. It's pretty good.
He had all 3 of those players.
How do you fit all 3 of the? He had all 3 of those, but this was before Hurts was a consistently amazing. He was still good, but he wasn't like consistently good. Yeah. This is one that Johnny just did. Young Ho, you fat. A little NBA reference.
For the 3.
Yeah. Oh, you fat. That's his name. I'm not I forget the commentary was so.
Yeah, I was gonna download that clip, but I didn't.
Holland Goats, like Holland Oats. But
that's a good one. I like that one.
Holland Goats. I actually made that one up, and I was sort of using this as a test run to see how you responded. Positive. Olave Garden, like Olive Garden.
That was mine. I mean, it wasn't. I actually like it wasn't even. Okay, it was original-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
someone else's. I'm sure someone else thought of it, so it's not like that original. But like,
yeah, I like it.
I remember it was one of the videos I actually made like a graph. I gotta send you the meme I sent. I made in one of Tom's videos, but that was a lot of fun. I was so proud of that one, and then I was like, "Oh, I just traded it," so I couldn't change my name to it.
There's got a chubby all of a sudden. I like that one. Doing the chub and
I want to trade for both of those players from Dan just so I can. Did he make that one?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Did he come up with that one?
That was one I found on Facebook.
Well, he has both these players, so he should do that.
Yeah, that's a great one for him. Soldier Fields, boring. I don't know why I put that on there. And also, Justin Fields is a.
I think
okay.
I thought it was good.
Now I feel bad.
Sorry about someone else I'm in the league with has that one.
Yeah,
I was just trying to contribute to the list.
I was more saying boring because Justin Fields isn't a great quarterback. Not like it's not a clever name. That would have been a clever name in the beginning of last year. But now that he's like a down on his luck player, I'm like,
I like Evan's new one, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, Wince. and it's like Carson ? And then like asterisk Wentz. Like he typed it out like you would. And anyways, we get it.
I typed it out for him, so just I can see
it. It hurts when I furt. I also like. What was the one? I wentz when I fart when I furt. It's Tyler Eifert and Wentz. I wentz when I furt, or it hurts when I fart. That's hard to say, but great name. I forget whoever told me that, but those are your fantasy names of the week.
All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen,
this is the moment you've all been waiting for, right?
This is the moment you've all been waiting for, as I take some time to find that banner I made last week. And so I can put up our fantasy starts of the week. We need some music. All right. Why don't you start it off with quarterback? Good sir.
Yeah, my favorite person in the whole wide world. My start of the week is Aaron Rodgers with his thumb. Coming back from London with a vengeance. So he's taking on the Jets, who've had some good weeks defensively as of late. But, I'm just waiting for them to crumble in true Jets form. So this will be a tough atmosphere in Lambeau for this Jets defense against Aaron Rodgers, who was notably embarrassed last week.
Yeah.
I'm sure
he was just like throwing through it. Like, you just can't.
Yeah. And, I think this thumb injury stuff, I think he was faking it to miss practice on Wednesday to sort of give his young wide receivers the cold shoulder for their poor performance, like he's done with his family throughout his whole life. So giving them the cold shoulder. And maybe, I think like this tough love type of approach is this thing that this young unit needs. Maybe Randall Cobb needs to, put them in timeout. Aaron Rodgers give them the cold shoulder. They need this tough love to get Aaron Rodgers the numbers he deserves, which is why he's my start of the week at quarterback.
I feel like you're being sarcastic that entire segment.
I was. So
my start of the
I
week.
still think he's going to do great.
That's good then. I mean, we're always expecting like a comeback game from Rodgers whenever I feel like he starts a lot of seasons very slow, but he always picks it up like they're in the middle, late in the season. Although when he's at home,
he doesn't start slow. He starts quick, but then
I will say, he has at home in October. He had like ridiculous stats, so I would say that's also another good choice. I'm going to have an interesting take as well for almost the similar reasons. Russell Wilson is my start of the week for quarterbacks because I think it's I feel like people who drafted him are probably worried and don't know if they should keep starting him or not. So I think you should. And here's why.
Okay.
I don't know. I just have a feeling. I do have a feeling that he will be having a bounce back game. This Chargers defense, they have pass rush. Yes. Do they have secondary? Not necessarily. J.C. Jackson's playing way below his contract right now. And I think with that pass rush, Russell was going to finally – you saw it last week. Finally – starting to run a little bit more, but I think like he wants to pass first, and I know you should, but you also have to trust your legs sometimes. And
right.
I think he's going to be forced to run the ball to pick up a few first downs this weekend. And he's going to be throwing the ball probably more than they'd like him to because of also Melvin Gordon and just that Chargers offense they're going to have to be keeping up with. So that's my start of the week.
Awesome.
Quarterback.
And Johnny, while we're doing this, do we have any questions or anything in the chat?
No, we don't.
Nobody's here. This is depressing. If you have any questions,
we had that one, and I don't think we didn't answer it quick enough. So I think Chris left.
He was gone. Chris was gone. Chris, come back and watch us next week. And I doubt you're going to come back and watch this video.
I want to know what he probably is going to pick Tyreek because we told him not to.
Yeah. So let's jump to running back. So we have Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson for our quarterback picks. I'm going with Mike Boone, facing off against the second worst receiving secondaries in the league. And this guy's a pass catching back. So I'm looking for him to have 5+ targets this week on top of his shared running role with Melvin Gordon, and I'm guessing he's going to find the end zone 2 times, maybe 4 times, maybe 6 times.
It's a pretty hot take.
I'm going to think 2 times. So
you put your money on that? That's got to be like plus 2,000, man.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. I like that. I'm still spent on starting him in my league because I don't know. I just don't know. I'm so conflicted. It's like so much upside, but so much low side for like all my guys. So we'll see. My running back choice is Travis Etienne. He's finally getting some momentum going in his game. I'm sure this might be one that we might want to not put on here because a lot of people probably haven't given up on him yet. But I think he's having a great year so far. And sorry, Super, I was reading this message right here. We'll answer your question in 1 second. Go ahead and submit it though, and we'll answer. James Robinson, I think, is a little banged up still. And I think Etienne's finally. I mean, he's kind of having that redshirt rookie season. So because he was injured all last year, so he was kind of just sitting on the bench.
Right.
So I don't know. I have a feeling about him. He might go off this week. He might not. I don't freaking know.
Yeah. And let's jump to. Do you have the question pulled up or?
He hasn't said it yet. I'll just pull it up whenever. Just go ahead.
Okay. So let's jump to wide receiver. So we have Mike Boone, Travis Etienne, running back, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, quarterback. Wide receivers. This is the important one, guys. Remember last week we picked Gabe Davis and Devontae Adams, number 1 and number 2 total in the week. So these picks, I doubt they're going to be number 1 and number 2, but they're going to want to start them if you're thinking about benching them. Maybe for a wide receiver 3, a flex. These guys can get you a little bit. Maybe if you're in a 2 wide receiver league, these guys might be a good second wide receiver if they're kind of fringe wide receiver 2 for you. So I have Christian Kirk.
Oh, nice. Let's pause that real quick. We're going to answer this question for this guy.
Okay.
Can you see this? I'm sorry, you're not. I think you're just a guest on stream.
Yeah, here I see it.
Okay. In PPR league, would you start Ken Walker or Mostert? That's actually a tough question. Pick 2 out of Pickman, Kirk, and Mike Williams. Those are some good problems to have, my dude, because Walker and Mostert have very big upsides this week. I honestly don't even know.
I wouldn't do Walker. I think Walker will do great, but I think I would
wait on
Walker. I would wait on Walker. By the way, I try to get Walker like crazy because I have a lot of faith in him. But who I don't have a lot of faith in is Pete Carroll and his running back by committee approach.
Okay.
You think Ken Walker, Penny's out, so Ken Walker's going to come in and take all these carries. They just picked up somebody, or they got another running back for their depth chart. And honestly, I feel like they are going to be okay with doing a continued running back by committee and just sort of confusing defenses. And I don't know if Ken Walker is the guy yet. So I would hold it off for a week. You know what? You got a little bit more with Mostert.
Yeah, because Chase Edmonds had like 1. I just traded Chase Edmonds.
Right.
He had 1 carry last week. So I think that tells you all you need to know about how they feel about the running backs they have.
And to give you a similar example, Khalil Herbert on the Bears. That was the game when David Montgomery came out and he came in and he had like 50 points, 40 points, something crazy like that in a half-point PPR league. The next week he scored 9 points, and it was against, I think, the Giants, who they played that week. So
I'm also curious. Yeah, I think DJ Dallas for the Seahawks. I remember he was a familiar name last year on the waiver wire for a week or 2. I guarantee you get a couple carries from him too. So that's kind of taking away your workload. As far as Pittman, Christian Kirk, or Mike Williams, I would pick. And Pittman's, I think, very consistent. He's going to get at least 8-9 targets a game. Mike Williams is a tricky one. I would pick Pittman and Williams, but Patrick Surtain is actually the real deal, I think. And I think Keenan Allen might be out again this week. So I don't know. Mike Williams might be able to moss him still, but I don't know how. But I'm not sure how much. Actually, Williams probably still has the most upside, but I think that Jags versus Colts game is going to be a running defensive game. I'm not sure how well Christian Kirk's going to do. So I would still go with Pittman and Mike Williams, dude, if you're still watching.
And I would do Mike Williams. So I would also do Mike Williams for that. So I would definitely start Mike Williams. But I'm going to go with Kirk instead of Pittman. And Kirk, this actually transitions into our picks of the week. So Christian Kirk is my wide receiver pick of the week. He had a great game against the Colts week 2. He had 2 touchdowns and 6 catches. He's averaging around 8 targets a game. So I think he's on track to have another big game. And again, those divisional games are much different than what you'll see the Colts typically do. So I think the Jags have their number. And I think the Jags are just going to keep throwing. And Christian Kirk, like I said, he had a great week against the Colts week 2 and a great first week. He just has been sort of slowing down the past couple weeks. But I think he's on trend. Again, 8 targets a game is around what he's targeting. So
that's good. Yeah, you take that. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a tough one. Like I said, thanks for the question, dude. That's a good problem to have, though, if you're big pick between those guys. I assume maybe a 8-man league for that. That or you're just really good drafting and waiver wiring. Mm-hmm. Thanks, man. Come back sometime. And then for my receiver, I have Rondale Moore because, like I said, that Seahawks secondary is not very good at all, unfortunately. And I think, the Hopkins is still out. Yeah, he has a big potential, I think, this week. They're going to be – because Connor's out. So, Eno's going to get carries, but I think they're going to be throwing the ball this week against that defensive secondary for the Seahawks. Stay away from – who's that defensive tackle they got that's been playing really well? They got from the Broncos. What's the freaking name? Drawing a blank.
I'm not sure. And the other thing, hopefully you just got to hope and pray that Kyler Murray's not playing video games and doing his homework.
Yeah, it is. I will say it is Call of Duty season. So
yeah, so think about it. Tough. That could affect your Rondale Moore pick. So
it could. We'll come back next week.
We'll come back and see. So let's look at tight ends. So tight ends pick of the week. I have Gerald Everett. So this guy, he's had a disappointing week in Cleveland. I think he was like 0.3 points.
A weird week for the Chargers, yeah. Justin Herbert didn't do very well either.
Right. And he's averaging just under 6 targets a game for a tight end. That's good. And Herbert loves looking his way in the red zone. He has 10 targets in the red zone this year alone. So, and they're mostly like around the 20-yard line targets. So, he's actually a really good tight end as far as getting targets in the red zone. I'm assuming this week it's going to be a little different than playing Cleveland last week where they just couldn't get their stuff together. But yeah, they're playing Denver, which we all know how good Denver is, as we saw last week. So that's my tight end of the week.
Nice. My tight end of the week will be Mo Alley Cox. I wanted to change that last minute though. Cool, man. Yeah, come back. That's you got a solid team. I would if you want to do more trades, I traded Jamar Chase in my league. I got some really good value for him. Might be too late for you to get some good value, but maybe someone wants a name brand like that you can get rid of. So, yeah. Olave as your fourth receiver is a good problem, man. That's why I traded Olave too.
Yeah, Olave's in talks with the trade?
No, he said he had Olave, but he's not sure. I assume he's your fourth receiver.
Oh, okay. And is Olave still dealing with concussion issues?
I'm not even sure. I haven't been following him.
Yeah, you don't have him on your team anymore, so you've thrown him to the side.
Don't care anymore.
Yeah, Olave Garden, poor guy.
That was a hard trade to make. I liked him.
Well,
Alley Cox. My reasoning behind him on my tight end week. I'm a fan of patterns. I like patterns. Maybe that's says something about my mental health, but Mo Alley Cox has had good game, bad game, good game, bad game. No, bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game. Time
Guess
for
what this week is? Good game.
Exactly. No, in seriousness, I think that he's a good red zone target as well for them. We'll see what he does. I don't know about his health or anything. That was kind of an intuition pick. I just noticed that pattern because I was picking him up on waivers.
Patterns. Okay, we like it.
I like patterns.
And now it's time for your Big D and feet picks of the week.
Whoa, buddy.
Okay,
Okay, we're not monetizing, please.
By the way, Johnny's pick this week.
I was going to save that. I was going to let you do your defense.
All right, I'll do mine. Pat, I'm sorry, I keep stealing your thunder. I'm realizing. I need to stop doing that. But my pick of the week is Packers D. We talked about it earlier. I'm all in for the Packers this week. We have them in Lambeau, good old orange and yellow or whatever colors they are, green. I don't even know what the Packers.
They're playing the green and yellow.
The green and yellow, whatever you call them.
Their alternates are pretty dope. You can hate if you want, but.
Yeah, whatever. Packers D. I only chose them because I have them on my defense right now. So if they burn me again, because I've had them for 3 weeks now, look at their matchups, by the way. Go back and look at their past 3 matchups. It was who they played? The Giants, and before that was Patriots and Giants. So you think, oh, they're gonna have 3 really good games. Patriots was good. Giants was like not so good, below average. And now I'm getting scared because the Jets are slightly actually better than both of those teams for some reason this year. So if they burn me again, I will never add a Packer to my team for the rest of the year. And I'm serious about that. I won't add like Aaron Rodgers on waivers. I won't.
He's just sitting there in our waiver. No one wants.
I'm not going to pick up Randall Cobb in a pinch. Like, I'm not touching Packers players. So if they burn me again, that's the repercussion. So
it's just funny to me how different fantasy is, that we have Aaron Rodgers on our waiver wire, just chilling. Probably won't be picked up for like the rest of the season, honestly, unless he really turns it around. And you got Geno Smith, who you put $7 on.
Yeah. I'm trying to flip him right now. Geno Smith, great pickup. By the way, I called it first week we did this show that Geno Smith was a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. What does he do? He puts up 230 spots. And then Russell Wilson, what does he do? I think he gets negative points in both games.
Did he get negative? No.
I know. I'm just kidding. I don't know how it was low.
He threw for a lot of yards one game, and then he didn't do crap the next.
Yeah.
My point is, all I'm going to say about that is just come back at the end of the season, and if it's the same, if Geno keeps it up and Russell does keep it up as well, like they both keep up at the same pace, you win the argument. But it's still only week 6.
Well, Russell did do good. He had a 29-point week for us, but the rest of them were
fantasy quarterback right now. Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah. He's not good. He's got 12-9. His games with 12, 9, and 13. So not a great, consistent guy to have on your team. But let's look into Johnny's defensive pick of the week, retroactively.
My defensive hindsight pick of the week, I was hoping it would have been a little bit better, and then the freaking Washington Commanders had to score at the very end. It was the Bears defense, because I'm a fan of Thursday Night Football, low-scoring games. But the only bet I made last night, I was at the last minute when I could. I bet on the over at 38.5, just because I bet with my heart and not my mind. I was really hoping for a high-scoring game. I was like, they're going to screw the haters. It's going to come out there and going to score points, because for some reason I actually thought that. I didn't.
Shout out to Tim for betting no touchdowns in the first half. Our friend Tim. I think he put $2 on it. He won
$11 whole dollars. So Tim, if you're watching, shout out to you, my dude.
He said he would have put more in had he had a more.
Honestly, that wasn't very good odds. That should have been at least like 700, plus 700, plus 800 for him.
Yeah, it was plus 500, right?
Plus 550, I think.
That's 550, yeah. Should have been better odds than that. Tim
that's the same odds as like first TD David Montgomery, which all should have been a little bit higher.
Yeah. So sorry you didn't win more money, Tim, but great pick. And let's jump to our feet picks of the week. Let me tell you this much. As long as Young Ho Koo is in this league, he's going to be my feet pick of the week, even though I have to switch it up sometimes.
Young Ho, you fat.
Young Ho Koo. Cooter has been a tough matchup with the 49ers. He has a tough matchup against the 49ers, who have some of the lowest points allowed for kickers. Mm-hmm. But we're talking Koo here. We're talking the beast.
You just put that because I dropped him. I guess that's.
We're talking the beast of the South. We're talking the man of the melting pot of Atlanta, Hotlanta. He is Hotlanta himself, Young Hoku.
They might get shut out by the 49ers defense, though. That's all I'm saying.
Just like the Bears did in Week 1. Oh wait, that didn't happen. And look who the Bears have on their offense.
That's true. Nick Bosa's out. 49ers. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think anyone's going to watch that game. I think it's a noon game, I think.
Well, who was your silly little pick?
Is Graham Gano of the New York Giants. Who are they playing this week?
Little Graham Cracker.
They play the Jaguars. No, they play. Yeah. They play. I picked a guy who's on. No, they're not on bye. They play the Ravens. I'm totally lost right now. Graham Gano, he's put up, I think, like 10 points. He's like the top scoring kicker that you wouldn't think of would be that high scoring kicker. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they were pretty decent for a kicker. He's very consistent. I like to for kickers, you want like a kicker of a team that's like good. Their offense is good, but not great, so they get stopped on the goal, in that red zone a lot. Easy points for you. Yeah, I mean that's all my.
And as we do every week, we end it really strong with recommending kicker picks. So
it's a great way to end the show.
Great way to end the show. We're gonna have to change that, I think.
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe people like it. Who knows? But
hot prediction of the week. What's your toughest take of the week? Oh, actually, I don't know why I hit this. I don't know how long it's been up. Hot takes of the week. My hot take of the week. I'll do mine since this is a new thing. Spur of the moment thing. I think the Packers are going to win by 38 points this week.
Hot take of the week. Okay.
38-0 against the Jets. 38-0. Book it.
Okay.
No, don't spend any money on that.
I'm going to guess, or my hot take of the week is going to be, I'm going to say PJ Walker is going to go off.
Ooh. Okay. That's like fantasy.
I'm going to say he's going to do 30-plus points for fantasy scoring. PJ Walker, XFL legend, by the way. If anybody's familiar with PJ Walker, he was
former. Oh no, I was thinking Taysom Hill for some reason.
He was on some Texas team in the XFL last year, I think, or a few years ago.
He was a top quarterback, right?
Yeah. He was the number one quarterback behind, and right behind him was the throw-in Samoan, Jordan Ta'amu, who ended up being a backup for Pat Mahomes in Kansas City. And I don't know if I think he's a free agent right now.
He was a practice squad guy. Yeah, he got picked up by.
But yeah, no, the Panthers are playing the Rams, and we've seen the Rams aren't like super good anymore.
They're just not the same team. Yeah,
they're a different team. So PJ Walker, my hot take of the week, 30 points.
Okay, here's my fantasy hot take of the week because I just kind of said something because I didn't know. Aaron Jones, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns this weekend. Aaron Jones, 3 touchdowns. That's my bet.
Okay. Classic Packers fan. I like it.
Maybe one not Packers related if you want. If I can think about it. Russell Wilson throws 5 touchdowns.
That is a hot take, and that's a poor take, but I'll give it to you.
I say 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns is reasonable. 5 touchdowns, no way.
No way, not a chance.
There's not a chance.
All right, let's sing this outro for him. Actually, I don't want to sing. Just play it.
Thank you for watching. If you stuck with us the whole time.
And if you wasted an hour on your Friday nights, I don't know what to tell you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. And come back next week. Let's hang out again sometime. Let's do this again.
Bye-bye.
I've been Johnny Barks.
And I'm Bryan.
And you've been benched by the side. You've been put on the sideline. All right. The end.